Welcome, everybody, to Chasing Gazillions. It's not the same as making millions.
But it's pretty close.
Yes, it is. Wednesdays with Fernando and Anthony coming to you. Year 1, episode 7.
Is this
Building-
episode 7?
It's episode 7. We're building a portfolio.
All right. I'm Anthony Bowling, just in case you were wondering. He's Fernando. Hey, thank you all for joining us again here Wednesday live at 7 p.m. here on Chasing Gazillions. Not the same as making millions.
But it's close.
It is pretty close. It's just two real estate professionals here talking about our life experiences and work in the, what it has taken, the sacrifices to have successful real estate careers.
Life.
Yeah.
Life.
We've been at it for more than a minute, the two of us.
Yeah.
And now we want to share with you every week what's been happening with us in our life, personally, professionally, but also want to talk to you about the aspects of the real estate business that really make the difference in your career. Hold on, let me straighten this up. Is this right? Okay, how's that?
Look the
It's hard
same.
to tell. Is it the same? It probably is. I moved my. What does it still say? So before we get going here, let me check here to see if there's anyone out in the chat because we have some regulars. We have some followers. We have followers.
We do.
We
And,
do.
and let me tell you something. When I'm out and about, people are talking about it.
You're being recognized.
I'm being recognized for it, but we had a big Hilco meeting today about social media and what you're putting out in social media. And they used our example as something that people should start doing more of. One example, us.
There you go.
Company of 500 people that had one example. It was me and you.
I love it.
It was good. It was good.
I love it. And you know what else? I love this camera of yours that you like.
I upgraded. You asked me to
see
upgrade.
that. I mean, because I never noticed until now. You kind of have bushy eyebrows.
Oh, I have bushy eyebrows. Yes.
Right. But you know what? You might also want to think about investing in a different lighting system. A little more light. I like your light.
I'm better in the dark.
I look better. You're throwing too many shadows.
I got a face made for radio. All right, let's go.
Hey, well, look, before we get started with today's episode, which is property values and appraisers and appraisals, do you really need them? What role do they play? Why do we have appraisers? But before we get started with that, we want to first hear, I was trying to do it like on a TV show, but before we come back to that, we want to first hear from our sponsor. That's right. We have a sponsor who has committed to our program. Well, not from the very start, but it was early on. What episode is this?
7.
So after 5, everyone wants to see if you can make it 5 episodes. Then they get on board.
We're going to make the 700 episodes. That's what we're going to make.
I love it. I love it. But let us hear from our sponsor, the Global Scholars Foundation, GSF. That's globalscholarsfoundation.org. This organization, based in Washington, D.C., is a nonprofit organization that works with D.C. public school and public charter school kids, 9th through 12th grade, to take them through a financial literacy immersion program, cultural immersion, and then at the end of this 18-month experience, actually takes these young men and women to that community to experience it live. But let's hear from them. They can tell it a better story than I can.
With GSF, I gained travel experiences.
With GSF, I gained friendship.
With GSF, I gained language skills,
Time management.
mentorship,
college preparation, money management,
Self-awareness.
Hello, my name is Dr. Marcia K. Brown, the Executive Director of the Global Scholars Foundation. The Global Scholars Foundation is offered to DC teens between the ages of 14 and 18 who attend public or public charter schools. This fantastic program has three major components: financial literacy, college readiness, and language and culture.
GSF has helped me a lot with opening my mind up to new things and experiencing new experiences.
I learned a lot of practical skills that school just wouldn't have taught me.
GSF has helped me become a better leader because I always considered myself a leader, but I didn't know like all the responsibilities that was under it and like what type of leader I am and how to like be an efficient leader and an effective leader.
GSF has helped me branch out to know more people, and they also gave me the opportunity to go to colleges I probably wouldn't have went to.
GSF has taught me how to be a group player. I know how to like better work with the people that I'm working with. Even if I don't like that person, I'll know, okay, put my personal feelings aside and just make sure I get the work done.
Students gain global competency skills while having exposure to tools that will impact their daily life. These items invest in and inspire them. It prepares them for their future.
In my life, GSF taught me many things like how to behave in the workplace, how to build a resume, how to always keep an open mind to what's out there.
GSF has helped me succeed because has taught me how to become dedicated, and becoming more dedicated to what you do will help you further in life in anything that you do, whether it's football, college, playing football in college, it doesn't matter. Being dedicated, coming on time, and working that extra step to do anything will help you gather and further along in life.
GSF has prepared me for college by teaching me how to keep an open mind, to be optimistic, to know the importance of time, to also to ask questions and to say if I have any problems.
At the end of the 3 phases of the program, our students travel internationally for free. The students and staff of GSF consider this program to be very worthwhile. But we want to do more and be more, and that's where you come in. You can help us by giving to our program so that we can sponsor more children and we can become bigger and better than ever.
Because of GSF, I can be confident.
Because of GSF, I can succeed.
Because of GSF, I can learn.
Because of GSF, I have the opportunity of a lifetime.
For more information, visit our website at globalscholarsfoundation.org.
All right, that was great.
That was great. All right, we're back.
Didn't see much of it last week, so it was good to see it for almost the first time today.
There you go. Great.
So let's recap our week. I had a pretty good week.
Did
Not
you?
gonna lie to you. Went down with my 20 buddies down to Pinehurst. Did a good golf
Where's Pinehurst?
in Central North Carolina.
Okay.
We it's our 25th anniversary golf trip. Same guys every year. They come back. I run the whole trip. It is a way of me talking about what I do for a living too while we're there. Looks like I'm writing up a deal tonight for a guy on the trip, and writing up another deal for another guy next week that was on the trip. So this
Doing
is what
business
it's about.
people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
I think that's the key. I think people do business with people they know, like, and trust. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
But we have a tournament with prize money, everything. Everyone puts money in the pot. I came in second place. Not bad.
Nice.
My 8th second place showing.
Okay.
I've won the tournament twice. It's really hard to win the tournament because by Sunday, the last day we play, everyone's exhausted.
Sure.
A lot of long nights, a lot of poker, a lot of drinking, cigars.
Wow.
We don't go out anymore. We just eat, golf, play poker, and sleep. That's it. But it's a great trip. We always look forward to it every year. But came back to writing those 2 deals afterwards is a real huge bonus. They're going to be local deals here I'm writing up, and hopefully they work out.
Fantastic. That is great. Yes, that's great.
All right. What about your week? Talk to me.
This week, let's see. Well, I have picked up some assignments, different assignments. There's a state property assignment, but what is really the biggest thing that happened to me this week is that we went to see Top Gun. The family, Melinda and Eliza and I, we went to see Top Gun, and
how was that?
We went to see it in 4DX at the Regal Theater at Gallery Place in the 4DX, where you got on the seats and you rolled and you moved around, and the wind blows in your face when the jets kick and this and that. And, brother, we had a great time. It's been a long time since Melinda and I have been to the movie and not have to shove one another and say, hey, wake up. So it was really good. It was a really good one.
So it was 4D.
It's called 4D or 4DX. Yeah, 4D, something like that. It's got to be 4DX where the whole seat and everything rocks and moves and wind and all of that. You feel it all.
Nice.
I mean, literally, like when they do the G-force and you like it kicks you in your back. Literally, you have to look around and see if somebody just kicked you in your back.
What'd that run you for the whole family? $200 with food?
Well, it was $80 out the gate for the tickets. It was another $30 on popcorn and soda and water. Yeah. And then afterwards, you're right. We left there and went to Clyde's.
Also cost you $300.
So
it's hard out there right now. I don't know how people are doing it. I mean, luckily I have a good job. I make a decent living. Yeah. I can afford this like bump in prices.
Yeah.
But man, the DC area is expensive, and it's expensive. We're in Pinehurst, so we're thinking, all right, this is middle of North Carolina. It's going to be cheaper. It was like $14 for one drink.
Dude, bottle of water
ridiculous.
Was $6.50. No, $6.50.
Oh, on the golf course, it was $4. I'm like, you should give me water. It's 95 degrees out here, and I am baking right now. I may pass out on your fairways.
Yeah.
So things are tough right now. Hopefully things settle back down here in the next 6 months, a year.
That's right.
But who knows? All right, ready to get started on the topic? You want to start first with the residential?
Yeah. Well, let's get started. So this week we're talking about property values, but really what we're talking about is an appraisal. Do you need an appraisal? Why not? What's the role of an appraisal? And so I'm gonna take it from the perspective of both investors and home buyers, residential investors, residential home buyers, and the role and use of an appraisal. Now, here in the District of Columbia, and Maryland for that matter, only licensed real estate licensed appraisers are able to give opinions of value for your property. Now, I know for the investors and home buyers out there who work with real estate professionals, you're thinking to yourself, well, what are you talking about? My real estate agent does a CMA, competitive market analysis, every day. I mean, they always giving me an opinion of value that I use. And yes, but that is an opinion unlike what an appraiser provides you. Appraisers are the only licensed professionals who can render value. So it carries weight when an appraiser says your property is worth X or Y. Now, how does the appraiser, this person who's been endowed with this power over you and your property that you're looking to buy as an investor or as a homeowner, and you're waiting for the appraisal for it to come in? You and your buyer or seller have reached a meeting of the minds. That's a legal term. That's the JD. And you all have agreed on a price. And now
don't forget the bank too. The bank is one of those three parties.
That's right.
So they aren't going to go alone without the appraisal.
Well, your lender, who I refer to as your lender partner, because no one else is out here preparing to provide you with 75 to 96% of the value of this property. So you come up with 5 to 25% down. So he is a partner in this. And because of that, he wants the property to serve as collateral for his investment in the property. So he sends, although you pay for it, he sends his appraiser to appraise the value of the property, upon which he's going to make you a loan of 80 to 90% loan to value on your property. So he does it. Now, when he comes out, what is the appraiser looking at? What is important to him? Whether you're a seller and the buyer's appraiser is coming to appraise your property you want to sell, or as a buyer coming to appraise the property you want to purchase. What is the appraiser looking for? Well, first of all, he's looking at the neighborhood and the location. It's location, location, location. It does matter. It will impact on his opinion of what the value of this property is. Now, secondarily to location, he's now looking at the condition of the property. If the property is vacant, it's shell, it's fallen down, it hasn't been improved, it's brand new, it's been well maintained. He's looking to note the condition of the property. He's looking at any upgrades that have been made to the property. The property is built in 1956, and there's been no upgrades to the property since 1956. Or there have been upgrades to the electrical system. The electrical system has been heavied up. The plumbing is no longer lead, it's copper. The bathrooms have been improved. It's new finishings. The windows have all been replacement windows. There's been a new roof put on in the last 5 years. All of these improvements, the appraiser is making note of about your property. So there's location, there's condition, there's upgrades to the property that he's making note of. Now,
never dollar to dollar though on those upgrades. They're he takes a percentage of it, but you don't get dollar for dollar. So if you spent $100 grand upgrades, your house isn't going to go up $100 grand.
Well,
that's
okay. Let's jump ahead. Let's jump ahead and jump back. So you're right. If you're looking to affect the appraisal that you're going to get for the property, you're right. The big question always is, where, as a seller, should I invest money to improve the value that my property will achieve when it is appraised? And Fernando brings up a good point. Rarely do you achieve a dollar for dollar improvement in the value of your property compared to the investment in it. For example, if you invest $15,000 in improving your bathroom, it doesn't mean that you will achieve an increase in your appraisal of $15,000.
Right.
And so the better approach when you as a seller are considering the role of the appraiser, and if you are also financially in a position to make an investment in improving your property, there are certain places, given that he's going to be looking at location, condition, and improvements, where you can get the biggest bang for your money. And for you out there who have residential properties, your biggest bang is going to be the improvement of, first, the kitchen, second, your bathrooms, third, closet space, fourth, lower level basement space. In that order. These are areas that have big impact. Now, obviously, if you got old windows and a basement and you're deciding, hey, I have limited funds, invest in the windows, right? It's upper level living area that impacts the appraiser when he's gathering information. Now, here's the next phase of it. Now that he knows where the property is located and he knows other properties, he knows this neighborhood. He knows what properties go for in this neighborhood. He looks at the condition of your property. It's fair, below average, average, above average. He looks at upgrades made to your property. Bathroom's been updated, kitchen's been updated, or not. Now, what does he do with that information? He then pulls comps, comparable properties that within and these are the rules that govern the licensed appraiser.
For residential, for commercial, it's a little, they can expand a little more.
But for residential, he's limited in the radius up within which he can search for properties that look like your property that he might then make a comparison to. Because the bottom line is the appraisal is nothing more than a snapshot of your property today compared with other properties that have recently transacted on the open and fair market, arm's length transactions. He's not comparing your property to a deal between a mother and son around the corner or a foreclosed property when you're selling your property on the open market. He's looking for properties that traded just like yours to make the comparison to. And he then is going to make adjustments. He's going to take those properties that have sold. He's going to say, well, this one had a full basement and yours had no basement. And he's going to make some dollar financial adjustment up and down with your property compared to that property. And then he comes to a final number as to the value of your property. Do we need appraisers? Do we need appraisals? Yes, they have a role. Certainly, if you're borrowing money, you're going to need to get an appraisal. The lender's going to require it to secure their collateral. However, if you're selling property, I always recommend to my clients that they not invest in an appraisal to establish the sales price of the property in advance of buyers coming to it. The market is going to determine and dictate what they are willing to pay for your property. So,
and your realtor should help you with that too, right? Your realtor should say, hey, listen, here's what things have. So, I mean, your realtor should give you some information and make that decision where you don't have to spend $500-600 on an appraisal.
Exactly. And so a good realtor would be
like yourself.
Yes, is here advising you and would say, look, I can do a competitive market analysis. I can show you what other things have sold for. And the buyers who come here, because I'm attracting them to your property, I'm marketing your property. That's the role I play to bring people to your property, to negotiate contracts and deals. But the better investment for you is not to spend money on an appraisal of your property in advance, but rather, I always recommend an inspection of your property. Now, you're right. Buyers are going to come. Buyers are going to have to get their own appraisal through a lender. That's true, unless it's all cash deals. That's another issue. But buyers will get the property inspected. Getting it inspected, I recommend that you get your property inspected in advance of buyers coming to your property for the following reasons. One,
I have a counterpoint to that, but go ahead.
Okay, well, hold that counterpoint. One, you want to know what they are going to find out first. This is what we learn in law school. You never answer. You got to know the answer to questions before they are asked. You have to already know in advance what they will find out. 2, if you know what is wrong with your property, you have an opportunity to correct it. That's where you want to spend money. You can correct those items now before the buyer and the appraiser comes and the inspector comes looking. 3, the effect is that helps you and your realtor hold the value that the realtor has put on your property, because now your property shows well, compares favorably to other properties that may have blemishes and deficiencies that you have had the opportunity to correct. I went a little long there with why you should or should not have an appraisal on the residential side. I think the answer is lenders are going to require you to get one to establish value. It's a necessary thing that you will have to do. But as a seller of properties, you should make the investment in a property inspection, not in a property appraisal.
Here's my counterpoint to that last point you made, which is very, very good. I didn't think about a couple of things you said was,
okay,
if you don't have the money to make the repairs and you get an inspection,
yes,
and you find out things you didn't know,
right,
you have to disclose.
Yes.
You can't keep that underneath the rug. You have to disclose that. You may find out things you don't want to find out, and the buyer may not have found out. No one even knows until later and it's like a latent defect, I think it's called, a latent defect but once you find out, you got to tell everybody involved in the deal.
I'm glad you brought that up. And you, my friend, so I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you in on something. You're going to be held liable for latent defects. You're going to be held liable for things that you know or should have known.
You're correct. That is the law. But
so
it's a better defense. It's a better defense if you didn't know at all.
Well, okay,
as opposed to knowing and concealing it.
That you can disclaim when you're selling a property. You can say, "Hey, I disclaim." So I'm not making any disclosures about the condition, status of the workability, habitability of my property. I disclaim. I don't know nothing. And that's available to you as a seller to disclaim. So that when they find whatever they find, they can't then claim that you were knowledgeable, were trying to defraud, trying to hide.
Right.
You disclaimed and said, I didn't know the house didn't have a roof. What? It didn't have a roof.
I like to disclaim without the inspection. Then you really don't know.
Well, again, you're right. You can't have an inspection and then disclaim.
Right.
You're absolutely right. You have the inspection so that you don't, and this is a negotiation, and so I guess I'm letting people in on my negotiation style. Here's my negotiating style.
Here we go. I've seen it in person. It's good. It's really good.
Okay, here's my negotiating style. Yeah, I don't haggle. I hold the line. If you say we are getting $750,000 for your property, then the market has to prove why we shouldn't be getting $750,000. And so we're going to hold that line. And we hold that line by knowing the condition of the property. We know where the blemishes are. We've already addressed those. And they have to then show me why we shouldn't be getting $750,000. Now, they're going to come with their inspection and they're going to say this or that. And we can consider that in our negotiating on any reduction we might grant them in consideration of this thing they found in this report, right? But that's so we want to know on this side of the table everything about the property, because what we don't want to have happen is you enter into a contract to sell it for $750,000, and then unbeknownst to you, it turns out that you do have a crack in your foundation.
They retrade you after the fact.
Right. And now the buyer is saying, "Oh, I would pay you $750, but for the crack in your basement that you're saying is nothing. It's never been a problem. There's never been a leak. There's never been the basement has been dry since the day you've been here, but they do see this little crack running down the wall, and you never paid any attention to it because there's never been an issue. Now someone is saying, well, that's a foundation issue, and it's probably going to cause something. So now I have to discount your $750 by, $150,000.
Ooh, that's a big number.
Well, it's a foundational matter, no pun intended, right? So you want to know, because if you can have it certified, treated, remedied, restored for $10,000, that helps hold your line at $750. See, that's $10,000 well spent to hold the line at $750 as a seller of a property, because
Agreed.
now they just find a freshly done, painted, certified basement wall with a report that says it's been inspected by a professional who is licensed, it's been sealed, and there's been no evidence of any water penetrations. And
good point.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a good thing our show is now 40 minutes, not 30. Maybe we leave the commercial appraisal side of things for another episode. What do you think? I mean, because I can go on 15 minutes about commercial. We'll be here for an hour. So let's table that for the next show.
Okay.
I have a meeting on Monday that I'm hoping you can make with United Bank for coffee with our girl Gail.
Are you?
So if you can make that, I would appreciate you come. I think she's going to be a future guest. We're going to offer that to her when we have breakfast with her or a coffee. We're meeting at Vienna Monday at 9.
Send me an invite. Thank you. See, that's my partner. That's my man. That's my man right there.
Yeah. So she very engaged, ready to go.
Did she call you?
Huh?
You called her? You followed her?
Oh, I called her. Once I get your number, I call you all the time. I'm gonna keep in touch with her.
Nice. Yeah.
So so you have to make that on Monday. No.
Yeah, I will make that on
Monday. And then next week we'll have our first guest. Is that what we're talking about?
We're working on our first guest, everyone. We're going to be bringing our first guest. Hey, shout out to the Virginia bushcrafter who came in late last week. He didn't come in this week. Don't see him. Maybe still Memorial Day holiday weekend. I don't know. But I saw you come in at the last minute as we were wrapping up. And I just wanted to say thank you. We're going to give you a shout out here this week because you're with us in spirit. You're always with us every episode. Yeah.
Number one.
That's right.
So have we confirmed our guest for next week?
We have not, but we are going to have
keep it a surprise then. Should we keep it a surprise? Or should we tell people who we're trying to get?
Well, maybe we should tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So next week we have extended an invitation to Mr. Benjamin Soto, Ben Soto Esquire, who is the principal and founder of Premium Title and Escrow. It's a local title company here in the District of Columbia. Ben is a law school graduate of the District of Columbia School of Law, a classmate of mine. And
went to high school with my next door neighbor. That's how I met Ben.
There you go. See, quality education.
And then me and you kind of crossed paths.
That's right.
Both knew.
Ben is also, a fraternity brother. He is of mine, Kappa. But the point is that he is also an outstanding
First class.
Yeah, title attorney here in DC, and has done residential, commercial title issues here in this city. And there is, well, I certainly can't think of any kind of real estate matter that one would encounter that Ben has not addressed. Whenever my clients have an issue that goes beyond my competence, I mean, Ben is my first call on a real estate related matter, because he's just done that volume of transactions. He's just seen so much. So we're going to have Ben on the show next week to answer your questions about title, real estate.
I saw him last year. I was mentoring a football player at University of Maryland, who, by the way, entered the portal. So now he's gone. Hurts a little bit, but he's in the portal. He left, but
wow.
He said, I want to go with you a day in the life of a real estate professional. I said, let's go. Jumped in my car.
I remember that guy that you mentored. He left.
He left. Frankie Burgess. Yeah.
Oh
really
my
sad.
goodness.
In the portal.
Dude was so high on him. That's right. He was there.
Very high.
He wanted to be in real estate. Right.
The portal is a different beast. I can't control the portal. Kids get offered money. They get offered incentives. Come play for us. You can start right away, and they leave. That's what they're doing. It's fine. But I said, let's go. I booked an appointment with Ben Soto, and we took Ben out to lunch. And Ben met the kid and talked to him, engaged him. It was really first class on Ben's part. Really nice. And he told the kid, he said, you should listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. You should learn from him. Take some advice, whatever he gives you.
Right.
Life's not going to be easy. You're not always going to be a football player. I guess Ben played basketball.
Right.
Did he at St. John's?
Yeah.
I think in high school, right? St. John's College, he played basketball. So he said, that ends. And when it ends, you got to be prepared for life.
Right.
So Ben gave him a really good speech. It was really nice.
Nice.
That's the last time I saw him. So I think he'd be a great guest. Knows a lot about the business and can talk about title issues. Huh?
He's going to be here next week.
Yeah, that'll be great.
All right. Okay, guys. And next week, just in case you have noticed here, the AC wasn't working here in my office.
Yeah. Schmitz's pretty bad.
Yeah, it does look like it. It does look like that.
It does. Oh, you can see it. It's going
I know. It's kind of. I felt a little compelled, like I should say something.
Should have got the towel. The Tarkanian. Put the towel over your neck.
Yeah,
Jerry Tarkanian.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, now I looked a little scruffy here. I know I didn't, but I didn't think I was going to come off.
I always like to look good on camera. That's
huh?
I always like to wear the gear. The company I'm representing.
You set the standard here for this show. Well, that's why it's Wednesdays with Fernando and Anthony.
Your idea.
You set the standard. You set the standard. I love it. Okay,
right.
man. I think that's it for this week's episode of Chasing Gazillions. Ain't the same as making millions. Wednesdays with Fernando and Anthony. You gotta love it. Okay.
We'll see you next week with our first guest, episode 8.
Episode 8 with our first guest. All right.
Terrific. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.